Hello and welcome to this webinar brought to you by OpenApp. In today's webinar, we will be demonstrating the interaction between two doctors in the same ERN, inviting each other to join a panel. So I will log into the system with a demo account today on the training environment as Doctor 1, and I also will have Doctor 2 in the same ERN, and they will be inviting each other to participate actively in a consultation panel. I will log into the system now. Upon successful login into the system, I will be prompted with the dashboard on the screen, as you may see, and I can go to my center. And now I'm a doctor in France in Strasbourg University Hospital, and I have in my hospital 32 patients. So if I can go to my patient list and click on any of my patients, I will see a full record for all the panels running on this patient. So just for this demonstration, I will be opening a new panel. I will give a nickname for this patient and just fill the first section of the data in the consultation form, as this is the minimum required data has to be entered to start a panel. It's also important to say that while the user is entering the data in the consultation panel, they can also switch the panel lead to be anyone else in their center or in their hospital. But for this demonstration, I will make it simple and leave it as Doctor 1. Select the thematic area and then I save the form. The workflow, as you may see in the top of the screen, and this is what we call it, the panel banner, where you can see the panel ID, you can see the nickname of this patient, and you can see the center who originated the panel and who's the panel lead, to which ERN this panel belong, and also the thematic area. In the top bar here, you can see several stages in the workflow. So now I'm in the stage of opening a panel where I am providing all the available information on the patient. Secondly, the panel selection. This is where I'm inviting other experts to look at my patient and we collaborate actively on the consultation form. And the data completion is the stage where I will be providing additional information as per requested by any of the invited members in my panel. The assessment, this is where each member, including the lead, giving a contribution to the panel, and the contribution can be some findings, some recommendations, some guidelines, or some medical opinion. After the assessment, the panel lead will be responsible to record an outcome consolidating all the information they got from the contributions from all panel members, and the panel member will go and review the outcome and agree all together on producing the same outcome. And afterwards, the panel lead will transition the workflow to the sign-off stage where they will sign off on the outcome they recorded and then collect some of the KPIs, such as how long time did it take them to consult on this panel, and if the outcome of the panel had led to any diagnosis or any treatment, and then they can close the panel. And at this stage, if the patient had given consent already to share their information, anonymous clinical data, in the ERN databases and registries, then the doctor or the panel lead can share their data in the low accessibility database at this stage after they have closed the panel. Last stage in the workflow, which is archived, and if the panel lead archives a panel, that means that it will not be available anymore and no longer seen in the ERN dashboard here for all members of the ERN, but it will be only available on the center dashboard and in the center level. However, the outcome document and the panel title here will be shown also in the ERN application. just for this demonstration, I will drive the workflow forward to the panel selection, and I will go and invite Dr. 2, for instance. And to invite doctors, you can select actually here and filter the members in your ERN by the entire ERN, or you can filter them by one specific thematic area. It depends on what we are looking for. So for this demonstration, I will invite Dr. 2. He's an ophthalmologist. Okay. And now I will switch screen, okay, to see what Dr. 2 sees actually on their screen. I will log in as Dr. 2 now. And I will go to the ERN dashboard. And this is where I can see the panel invitation. So I can see here that there is a new panel that I'm invited in with the nickname Paul, and it was produced today, and this is the panel ID. And I can see also in the task list a notification says that you have been invited to join this panel. It's also important to say that there will be a digest email to be sent every day 8 o'clock in the morning with the central time in Europe to digest all the task lists here to every user if any of these tasks are listed in this box. We don't provide any medical information. We do not provide any details on what's in the task list to the user in the email for security reason. So you will get only a notification says, please go and check your task list because you have some tasks to do. So we send a notification 8 o'clock in the morning every day. And also if the panel here is urgent panel and it's marked as urgent, in this case, you will get an email immediately after you have been invited to the panel. Otherwise, if it's not urgent, then you receive the notification email the following day. So I'll go here as Dr. 2 and click on this panel, and then I will get the option to accept or refuse the invitation. So in this case, let's say I will accept the invitation. Okay. And once I accept the invitation, then I will be part of this panel. So now I'm in the panel of, I'm one of the panel members here. And if I go back to the dashboard here, I can't see the notification anymore in the box. And if I go now as Dr. 1 and he is the lead, I can see that Dr. 2 has accepted the invitation, and all the actions are actually recorded in the timeline on the right hand side. So it says Dr. 2 was invited to join the panel, Dr. 2 agreed to join the panel. So let's say now that I have a panel and I invite Dr. 2 and Dr. 2 refuses to join the panel. So what will happen? So in this case, I will go and invite Dr. 2. Here. Okay. And this is panel number 443 and the nickname is test. So I will go now to Dr. 2 and see the notification here, and yeah, he got this invitation here. He clicks here, and then let's say he refuses the invitation. Okay. So as you may see here, once he refused the invitation, he cannot see any clinical data anymore. He only can see the timeline. And this is because he doesn't have a permission to look at any data for this patient because he or she has rejected the invitation. Okay. They still can see the panel running on their ERN, but they cannot access it. So if I click here on panels in the ERN, and let's say the nickname was test. Oh no, that's not. So this is the list of all panels running in my ERN. So if I go back to the one that I just rejected and I click here, yeah, I can see the same message that you don't have permission to view clinical data in this panel. Okay, the second use case I want to demonstrate today is Doctor 1 seek assistance from the ERN coordinator to invite other members from the ERN or also across ERNs. So I will go now and open a panel. Let's say that Doctor 1 does not know anyone in their ERN, and they are, for instance, junior doctor, and they don't know which expert they should invite. So let's say just for marking this panel, let's say ERN coordinator assistance. Okay, and this is demo, and this is Dr. Max. Now I will drive the workflow forward, and I don't know any of the doctors here interested in any thematic area or even the entire ERN. So I will go and click here on the third tab and say I would like assistance. So now I can see in the timeline, if I just refresh the page, that requested assistance from ERN coordinator and appoint a panel. So now, and I can leave him a comment or her a comment and say, can you please form this panel with experts in, let's say, retina diseases. Okay. This is the comment of Doctor 1. So now I will log into the system as Doctor 3, and Doctor 3 is a coordinator in ERNI, and he will get some privilege to see all the incoming requests to the ERN. So here, this is the request inbox that's not available for anyone who's not ERN coordinator, ERN dispatcher, and we can speak about those roles in other webinars. So if you look here at this panel ID and the nickname of the patient, it's 457, and this is ERN coordinator assistance. So I can go here and I can see 457, and it was created at the day, and this is the center. And if I want to see more information, just can expand the screen so I can see the nickname as well of the patient and the thematic area. If I click here, and as a coordinator, I will look at the comments on the timeline. I see, okay, that I'm supposed to invite experts in retinal diseases. So I can go here and look at the retinal thematic area, and let's say I can invite Dr. 2 and Dr. 4, for instance. And I can assign Dr. 2 to be the lead, for instance, okay, because Dr. 1 might not be available, or his junior doctor, he might not know much. So for any reason, I can assign another lead for the panel. And if I want also to invite other members from other ERNs, let's say I go here to ERN, let's say neuromuscular disease, I want to invite another doctor from other ERN. Okay. And also on the timeline on the right hand side, you can see all the interaction updates are captured, so you can actually review the panel history. Now I can go as a Doctor 3 as a coordinator. So now I have invited some people. Dr. 1, who's the panel lead, who was supposed to be the panel lead, is no longer the panel lead. He became a panel member because Dr. 2 was appointed as a panel lead, and you can see this here. So you can see on the timeline Dr. 2 appointed to lead the panel. And now I will log in the system as panel as Dr. 2. Now the job of the coordinator is done. So now I log into the system as Dr. 2. I go to my ERN. I can see that there was an invitation here, and it says something in the task list that says you have been assigned the lead role in this panel. And it says also it shows here also in the list of my panel. So my panel are the panel that I'm leading, and the contributing panel are the panel where I am just a panel member to give a contribution. If I click here, get the notification you have been assigned the lead role in this panel. So I can now drive the workflow forward. This is data completion. I will get the right to edit the form. If I go to Dr. 1, who was supposed to be the lead, and then it was switched, you can see that both of them, Dr. 1 and Dr. 2, will get the right to edit the form, and that's because this patient belongs to this center, and Dr. 1 works in this center, so they should be able to fill in more data if needed. And Dr. 2, because now he's the current lead, he gets the privilege also to edit any information in the consultation form. And he is the only one who gets the control now over the workflow to drive it forward. And that's not possible anymore for Dr. 1, who was the lead before. Now they can drive it forward, continue to assessment, and they can record a contribution. This is my contribution. And people can see each other contribution, but they cannot edit each other contribution. Let's say record contribution. And as Dr. 1, as a panel member, I get a notification, and also this notification appears in my task list. I go and say contribution from Dr. 1. And then I can enter some of the KPIs or how much time I spent on this panel. So I say 2 hours. Okay, and I can definitely edit my contribution at any point. I can see people's contribution. I can comment on people's contribution also on the timeline here if needed. And then as Dr. 2, I'm the current lead of this panel. I can just go and continue to the outcome and draft an outcome for this panel. I say the draft outcome. Let's see what Dr. 2 will get here if we've moved the panel to the outcome. You can see here that there is a notification. The task list says, please review the draft outcome for this panel. So I can go here and look at the outcome of this panel. I can make changes if needed because I am the one who enrolled this patient and I'm the one who opened the panel. However, the sign off should be only done by the panel lead. So let's say everyone is happy with the outcome, then the panel lead will go and sign off the outcome. And the button of the sign off appears only for the panel lead as Dr. 2. And if I go to Dr. 1 now and I see the panel from the review, I can't see anything more than just the panel outcome. And it's only the sign off button appears only for the panel lead. Let's go and sign off the outcome. In this case, I can see view outcome. If I refresh here for the panel members, it says outcome document. And it says outcomes signed off cannot be edited. And then I can download the outcome document if I want. And it's a PDF document that you can share it with people within your ERN or outside your ERN if necessary. Now, as a panel lead, I will drive the workflow forward, just enter some data and say, okay, that was diagnosis, for instance, and I close it. And it says here that this is irrevocable action. When you close this panel, it's still visible within the ERN, but a closed panel cannot be restarted. So I cannot restart the panel anymore. And here the patient give consent to share their data, anonymous clinical data, with the ERN database registry. So I get this button here. I can make the data available for authorized researchers. So to this moment, we have finished explaining the workflow and the interactions, how to invite people from your ERN, and how to seek assistance from your ERN coordination. Thank you very much for your time, and we are looking forward to welcome you in other webinars. Bye-bye.